Welcome back, everybody, to Salt Lake City. Welcome back to the main stage. Welcome back to the A stream. We have officially been promoted from B stream duties today. And what a game we have to bring to you right now. Still in pool play here in SLC. Pool A is where we find ourselves right now. And it's going to be myself on set and the beautiful Bravo to talk you through Alpha Esports versus Ascend Baseline.
I'll tell you what, this pool got really interesting, huh? I think when we were talking about the pools in the pregame, not a lot of eyes on Pool A in terms of upset potential or what we might suspect, but Alpha Esports bursting onto the scene today with unbelievable results and even good performances against even stronger opponents. We'll see what they can do against Ascend Baseline here as well.
Yeah, Stella just talked to me a few minutes ago, just up on the desk, we were catching up, and he said, so we're going to lose that series. And then he had a little bit of a smile on his face. I was like, I think that says everything we need to know. It was a little bit of a battle for Space Station, but certainly the greatest way to start a day is to be tested in a series like that. And Alpha Esports showing, with some of their results so far today, that they are not to be taken up lightly. A little bit of international affair on our stage, actually, with Ascend Baseline as well. The European team, a couple of Frenchmen, an Italian, hails from Malta. If I'm not mistaken, Millsy, excuse me, from the United Kingdom. So we've got some international flavor in this game.
Great game to start the series as well. Loving a Game 1 Empyrean CTF.
Yeah.
Regardless of title, we love a pit CTF to start off a series. It's a little bit of tug of war to really allow both teams to feel one another out. 3 were dead for Alpha Esports, which gives BastosS just an opportunity here to lift on his opponent's tower. We'll see what he can do. Already under a lot of pressure here from the cuts on the first BR, but he's going to hold forward.
Hold forward, finds one, doesn't even get the opportunity to turn it into a double kill because Mose has that sniper rifle in and around the sword. And BastosS, recognizing that the Swans are still coming in on that Mauler side, he's going to decide to run this one, or attempt to run it under bridge towards the cover of his teammate. Mose is still here, doesn't quite connect with that one, but the shots are pretty solid. And more than that, as he'll fight one, can he turn it into 2? Can't quite connect with that headshot, but BastosS is sliding back home, and this might be the first flag going in this game, and it will be to the Europeans.
He is home free. I love that play from him. Let's talk about what happened. 3 were dead when he was going sword ramp. He goes courtyard. As soon as he lifts tower, he's under pressure from cuts and the first BR. A lot of players might back down from that. They might wait for help. Instead, they push training pressure. He flies and finishes the one shot in cuts. He doesn't waste any time, and because of that, they're able to continue slaying, and they immediately pull the flag. I love what I'm seeing, and they earned that flag cap. They're up 1-0.
And we mentioned how this pool has become very, very dicey. Well, this is another example of it. A few moments ago, we were talking only about Alpha Esports and what they managed to do a little bit earlier on, and now it's Ascend Baseline who are putting games on the board, or certainly flags on the board, on their way to putting games on the board against them. However, Leuor's going to find himself an overshield. This is a good opportunity with a couple of teammates dead, but also with Ascend Baseline with 2 in the death screen to maybe use this overshield to force his way forward.
Almost gets the trade as well. In the end, will be taken down in the courtyard. 1 dead for each side, as BastosS will maybe just wait for Snipe to respawn. Gonna snag that, and now also just decide to run his own tower as well. But as we talked about, Mark, we talked about in Argyle as well earlier, when you get that first flag on the board on a game type like this, it just gives you that tiny bit of extra breathing room. And now when he has Snipe on his own turret, they can make the plays that they want. They don't have to take risky kind of 50-50 chances at the mid-map. They can just play their game here. And even with 8:40 left on the clock, it'll give them that extra cushion.
Ooh, BastosS under pressure though. You can see the drop side coming in from Drift to make him a difficult target. Going to find that sniper rifle, which was pretty fresh as well off of the respawn for Ascend Baseline. They will manage to recollect it though, and Millsy's going to now have the weapon to work with. Not quite as a flicky as a player when you're watching his POV. Is a lot more kind of routine in how he lines up these shots, but still has a huge amount of talent and a huge, I would say, impact on the map. He's one of those players who outputs damage for other players to play around.
Ooh, very good timing there. Just as the sniper was wrapping around sword and you saw the glare, a player does push in on the long haul as well. Allows for Leuor to pick up another one. Acid might get taken down here. You saw him popping off in the earlier series on the main stage. Workout cut out for them. Ooh, speaking of, it's going to be Noble from the back on the first BR. Also hitting this one as well. Looks very good, even though the flag is pulled. Going to pull one of his own.
Doesn't know there's a player behind on the cuts, though. Can he turn the corner? He does have support here, Noble. But that player on the flag is slowing things down. Elsewhere, you can see that Mose has managed to find 1. 2 players still here for Noble to deal with. And he's going to try and just get the timing on the player to try and survive and extend his life for that flag run, but it looks like Ascend Baseline have managed to recoup, managed to get back into their base. A little kick jump off the wall there for Millsy, just to make sure he's getting across the map as quickly as possible. As you can see from his point of view, Alpha Esports at the moment all trapped inside their base.
I'm not going to lie, I think a lot of people who, whether you've played Pit Flag for a long time or maybe just in Halo Infinite, you have the same feeling. The second that you're no shields wrapping the first BR and you know there's pressure from the tower angle, the chances of that flag continuing are so low, and that's what we just saw. And right away, Ascend Baseline, as they get 4 dead, also start a run of their own on that counter.
Millsy trying to fight his way towards the cover of the long haul, but couldn't quite do so. Drift is going to clean up too, so really good defensive play coming in from him. Rockets are going to singe the toes, but certainly not take the shields and the life away. And by playing his life here, he's allowed teammates to get back on the map and send that flag back home. Now, can they get some sort of map control? 3 dead on the side of Ascent baseline, and it's not just map control, there might even be a run coming in, but Sunnriz is available to try and cut this down. It's a double kill for him, and now he is desperately just trying to buy time, wait for help, because he knows this player has the overshield. He challenges, gets good damage, and now Leuor, on the other side of this flag run, has to try and stop the push coming in from Ascent.
How about the play from Sunnriz? Absolutely beautiful play from him. He was the last player alive. He had to win a 1v1 in the needles, and then he had to do as much damage as he could on the overshield, and he does it. Takes down the entire thing, just enough time for the teammates to respawn, as that flag will now go home. 3 dead on the side of Alpha Esports. It's a huge solo effort from Sunnriz to stop that flag run.
And it keeps the flag lead intact for them as well. 6 minutes left on the clock. A lot of attention in and around the green box at the moment. Millsy was trying to play for his teammate. Noble says, I will take both of you down and claim myself a double kill. BastosS up on the tower for Ascent baseline. Now has to play that position again just to try and defend his base. And Noble's just found out that he has a sniper rifle.
Oh my God. And found
again,
out, yep.
He still has it.
Gets punished here. Ash is going to have to drop back with a sniper rifle as well. He's got a lot of shots, and that's why he's already started to burn some shots. Really nicely teed up there on the angle. Knew that the drop slide would come in, and is able to pick up another kill as well. 5:30 left now, still just 1-0 in favor of Ascent baseline.
A couple of things starting to go right for Alpha Esports. In the last few moments, though, you've seen a few shots start to connect. Unfortunately for Acid, he's on the receiving end of that sentence, which means that now he won't connect with a couple. Let's readjust himself to find a few more bodies. There's a challenge. Doesn't quite connect again here, and these are the kind of shots that if you can make happen, then that space opens up for you to push across the map. Ascent baseline were 2 dead in that situation as well. Flag is moving, and Noble's found another, so all of a sudden Acid is looking at respawners here. If you can pick up a couple of these kills, and there might have been the opportunity.
He kind of looked away, right? I think he thought he had the battle done. We'll see if the flag can still move, but it's going to be an even tougher run. It's 2v2 on the back run.
Drift has got no shields. There's going to be pressure coming, but Respawner is going to help him out, and hopefully, for the sake of him, he can get that help, and it will be the help that keeps him alive and allows that flag run to happen. It was a scrappy run coming in from Alpha Esports. It wasn't perfect, but he's good enough to tie them up a 1-1.
Yeah, the damage was enough. That was really the big thing. I think we were worried if that flag would still go because he didn't get that kill. Mose kind of turned on him. In the end, though, the damage was enough for that flag to come back home on the long haul run. Keep an eye on Rockets, of course. You see Mose has 1, Mose had 2. It gets burned on the overshield for the second one. Noble will pick up 2 in the feed as a result. Leuor picks up another one as well. Millsy, last player alive in the Mauler.
I know exactly where he is as well. You see Noble is frantically calling him out, trying to get his teammates to deal with him, and deal with him they will. As that flag now will continue moving. A little drop slide to get to the cover, avoid those pesky frag grenades that can cut you down with a remote detonation from the tower, but it is going to be through the long haul now. And Noble and Alpha Esports, who were 1-0 down a few moments ago, luckily for that little fumble, have enough in the death screen to make this a comfortable run home. It's going to be 2-1. They have turned this game around.
Wow. Amazing stuff there from Noble. I love also how they left Millsy in the Mauler. Even though they trade in a battle they may not have wanted to, they send 2 to Mauler to make sure the kill goes while he hits a perfect drop slide into the Needler. And as you said, even with a tiny flag fumble on the Walshy, they're still able to bring that in. And what was a 1-0 Ascend baseline lead is now a 2-1 Alpha Esports lead.
2 of the death screen here for Ascend baseline. One's just come off of the respawn, so it's a mid-map fight. Not for the first time, we see players baiting and switching in and around green box. Been watching this for 15 or so years, and story never changes. If you can control that green box in the long haul, then you're going to be able to get that flag moving pretty comfortably. Sniper coming up as well. You can see that Noble's decided that it's his to play within the next few moments.
See if there's any... Ooh. Nice little body as well on Sunnriz, who gets forced to retreat to cuts. It's cleaned up immediately. 3 dead there on the side of Ascend baseline. Absolutely beautiful.
That was 4 dead. Millsy's just come off the respawn. Oh, Millsy goes back into it.
Not a lot of time spent on the map there. Oh my God, overkill in the feed as well for Drift. On top of the kills that you were seeing on your screen, there was also an overkill. That is how much this team is heavily outslaying, and there's more to be done. Still 3 dead for Ascend baseline right now. Eagle outslaying here, 76-33.
Sunnriz has come off respawn on the tower though. Drift is looking to continue that momentum, feed off the adrenaline. He gets a body shot here. Should be able to clean this one up. Should be. Doesn't. Does not. And even though that flag is back, Millsy has a sniper rifle. Can they get around this corner before he can impact it? Oh, it's another fumble on the flag. They're going to have to jump up again, but Mose and BastosS, they found 2, and all of a sudden, the Ascent baseline are pulling the flag.
4 dead. Wow, there. What was about to be the game-ending flag, it stops at the doorstep.
Should have been the game-ending flag.
And it stops on a fumble as well. Look at this Ascend baseline. Players still coming off the respawn mathematically in terms of map distance, and Millsy with the rockets. This flag will go, and this one's going to go the distance. We're going to be tied up here 2-2.
All that they've got to worry about now, Ascend baseline, as that flag goes home, is stopping the counter cap. It's a double cap, and you saw the overshield had gone over to Alpha Esports as they overextended, and now they have to worry, and now they need to be scared because Ascend baseline, they're 3 in the death screen. Off the respawn, BastosS survives, but the damage is so big, and that flag is still moving.
Still moving here. Dies in the long haul, though. 2 dead. Right now, in this 2v1, this really should still be an alpha run. Where's the spawner? 4 dead for Ascend baseline. Don't even worry about where those spawners are. Drift's going to bring this one home. We got a little bit worried. We got a little bit nervous. But here, he'll make sure that this flag goes. And Alpha Esports will win the game after trailing early on. But down to the wire, they'll close it out 3-2.
That could have been one of those games that they looked back on and gone, ooh, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
We should have won that one, and before we know it, it's tied up 2-2. But they do manage to react and retaliate in a way that gives them the counter cap opportunity that they were more than happy to take. For Ascend baseline, a few moments in that game where they looked good, but it always felt like with the stats coming in from Noble that there was an element of control for Alpha Esports. It's 26 and 16 coming in for him, and not too shabby on this pitch. By the way, Drift, one of my favorite stat lines. That's the Richie Hines right there. That is the Hines stat. 16, 16, 16.
Can't ask for anything better. I think it's an Ogre 2 quote. When you see stats like that, you did everything that you needed to do to make sure that we won the game. In the end, it's going to be Alpha Esports that takes a 1-0 lead.
All right, we'll jump into a break. When we get back, we'll have game number 2 coming your way as Alpha Esports will be up by 1. Welcome back, everybody, to SLC. Welcome back to the series. Alpha Esports leading by 1 over Ascend baseline after an Empyrean CTF 3-2 win, where things got a little bit nervy in the final moments. But now we move into Aqua Slayer, Andy, and Alpha Esports continue their impressive run.
Really impressed with what we've seen from these guys, and also love the story. 3 will fall for Alpha Esports. Drift has to make a solo effort there, and actually it's going to be Mose's POV that we're on. Apologies for the POV swap there. We'll get that sorted. As Mose is off to a nice little 2-0 start on his side of the stage. Doesn't
quite connect with that headshot, but Millsy's going to be there to clean it up himself. 3 dead, 4 dead for Ascend baseline. So all of a sudden the game has flipped, and it's Alpha Esports who have not only the lead, but every single member of Ascend baseline spawning together at the back of this base. Mose is going to push out first and wins the 1v1, and that's going to create some space. The trade is going to come in almost immediately, and maybe it's going to be 2. It's actually Acid who somehow kind of threads the needle there between where Mose and the rest of the team was, and finds 2 and stays alive.
Nice shot from Acid as well. He knew that BastosS was the last player alive, but having a feeling that spawners might be around, he's just going to peek and do really nice damage there. Really nice peek shots on both the flag as well as from the high gen. That now extends their lead to 11-5. It's a really strong start here from Alpha Esports.
I really love that play from Acid. Number of reasons. Like you said, he's outputting damage, but also he's making sure that attention is constantly towards the gen. And why he's doing that is because he's seeing what his teammates are doing. They're wrapping through the pink side, and if he can take the attention away from those 2 players who are coming in with full shields, then it just makes their job so easy to clean up and collapse. And that's why you're seeing this lead start to extend now in the favor of Alpha Esports. 14-5, and Ascend baseline were momentarily there, 2 or 3 dead once again.
I mean, doesn't that sum it up? You have Sunnriz and BastosS just kind of running with their heads tucked back into the base, and that's just been the story of the game so far with these guys. Good shots from Acid. Can't clean up that last one, though, so that'll bring us to 15-6.
Overshield coming up as well, and when you're 15-6 up,
you hold forward.
You hold forward, especially if you're going to get it uncontested. Drift finds 1. Noble will just wait a second for his shields to recharge before he goes back in. There's the first shot onto Mose. Has the jump on him as well.
Oh boy.
And we'll add yet another kill to the collection. It's 19-7 now. This is starting to look a little bit out of hand.
The Bash brothers, Drift and Noble, flying to the gen, and you hear a few melees, and they're able to take care of business. Same thing, Noble walks in the door, and he just sees a bunch of carnage in front of him. He's not going to worry about it. Everything's been cleaned up here, and he'll now look for his next target. 21-9 in favor of Alpha.
Almost at the halfway point. And Ascend baseline are yet to get double figures. Nice damage coming in as well. Mose does find 1. Side B challenge is going to be accepted by Noble as the grenade goes in, and he cleans it up with the bandit. And now you are seeing 24 kills on the board, just to the 10 of Ascend baseline. This has been constant map control, and I don't think Ascend baseline have had 4 alive, it feels like, for more than 10 seconds.
Drift has as many kills as Ascend baseline. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Killing spree as well, going to be picked up here by Drift as we jump over to his POV to see what he is doing so right. 29-11 now. And it's a situation we talk about sometimes on Aqua, right?
The cleanest 2v2.
It's so clean.
Oh, the target prioritization there, that's some SWAT team-esque entrance. There's 2 players waiting in the fridge. Generally, you're going to expect to see a trade, but Alpha Esports just picks their targets so cleanly. Amazing communication, and maybe even without communication, they just shoot the right targets, and it's plays like that that have brought them now to still more than doubling the opponent. Score 34-16.
Team. That was like watching a game of SWAT. That was literally 2 bullets fired and 2 kills collected. So,
jeez,
it's starting to look like Alpha Esports are inching their way, or should I say, almost sprinting their way towards a 2-0 series lead here. I was going to mention though, for Ascend baseline, you've got to remember that what the opposition has done to you in the first half of this game, you can do back. It's how Aqua works. We've seen it numerous times. The one thing you can't allow to happen if you want to try and believe this story is let the overshield go over to Alpha Esports. It's almost like the story has become somewhat of a fairy tale now for Ascend baseline if they want to get back into this.
It really would be. You know, we've seen some crazy stuff on this map. Based on the pace of this, I don't know if we're going to see anything like that. I think it's going to be limited to the crazy score line. 2 still dead for Ascend baseline. It's 40-18. Steak is certainly on the menu, and it might even be even worse.
Steak with all the trimmings. You got the potatoes, a little bit of peppercorn sauce.
Yeah.
More steak.
A whole bunch of French fries.
French fries, of course.
Yeah.
But I think it is essentially a race to see if Ascend baseline could avoid that steak dinner, or if it's going to be Alpha Esports really winning this one with somewhat of a statement. That battle rifle, once again, just doing a huge amount of damage. By the way, that model of the battle rifle was enormous. It looks like a railgun.
It really does look like a rail. 48 on the board, only 2 more kills to go here for Alpha Esports. Make it 1.
1 more to go. Steak is on the menu, and we are about to be eating good if you're an Alpha Esports fan. Noble's looking for it himself. And why wouldn't he get it? Flies in, gets the trade. That'll get the job done. Alpha Esports find themselves 2-0 up in this series. Drift goes 17-6, by the way.
In a game where his opponents only get 21 on the board.
Not bad. Not bad whatsoever.
I mean, that is wild. That should not be happening in pool play. That's a crazy scoreline. Let's make no mistake. 50-21 is a statement from Alpha Esports as they will take a 2-0 series lead.
Really impressive. Just looking through the stats here, there's nothing to be disappointed at all on the Alpha Esports side. It's just positive all around. The standout, of course, Drift, and we'll have to see when we get back from this break if Alpha Esports can close out the series in a 3-0 victory, or if Ascend baseline are going to have something to say about it. Welcome back, everybody, once again. What could be the final game of this series if Alpha Esports keep up the pace they set in the previous 2 that we just saw them take home? The last game, Andy, was an absolute massacre. Steak dinner on Aquarius Slayer. Alpha Esports looking supremely dominant, and now it's up to Ascend baseline to show a little bit of life here.
Yeah, in a big way, and good start for them. Already really good progress here, even though they are down a man. Able to get a lot of time on the board, maybe even controlling pipes here. They'll see if they can get shock as well, presumably. Leuor wants to shut that down, though, if he can.
Shut it down, he will. Now he's going to find the shock rifle himself after picking up those couple of kills, and more importantly, just breaks the spawns. And where Ascend baseline are going to be able to push from. You can see over at blue, they're trying to wrap to tower now. They've got a couple of long haul spawns, but the pipes and elevator is belonging to Alpha Esports at the moment. Leuor firing up, getting fired up, should I say. As he takes aim at the tower again, BastosS is going to give him another opportunity to hit a shot here, and with the first one, you wouldn't be too surprised if it turns into another headshot.
Love this. Look at it. Even though he's getting dinged all the way from C-Plat right around the trippy box, he's just holding that angle perfectly, and ever since they gained the control of this, they have looked unstoppable on the angles they're choosing, and might finally get taken down, but look at what only need to take. I'm surprised he doesn't hold the angle there. There's no other pressure. I mean, I guess he just thinks that Noble's going to jump in, but if you ask me, just hold that right bat. Hold that back right bat. Don't challenge that control angle. They probably still will get it. There's 3 dead, though, so we'll see if Ascend baseline can hold. They would need about a hold and a half here minimum if they want to score this point and steal it out.
One of those situations where you see these 2 teammates pushing tower as well. We just need to wait. We just need to allow them to do the work and collect the last bit of time. And now look at the game. Now look at how close it is. Ascend baseline. Essentially, this is a team fight for this first hill. Big win coming in from Millsy. Another 1v1 going down on the gold stairs. Who's going to win this one? It's going to go the way of Ascend baseline. And BastosS now can step in. And that misplay, that misstep, is really going to cost them, because Ascend baseline now has a 1v1 go down in the hill. Might be in a position to win this one. It's a pixel away for both teams. Mose is going to get the camo. He gets taken down as well.
My God.
But it's trade after trade. No. Ascend baseline step in, but still can't get it.
That was 4 dead. BastosS was the only player. Is Noble's gonna get this?
No, he's not. He's
No,
back up.
I
He's
can't believe
backing
Noble
up.
drops down. The trippy spot angle makes him drop down. Can BastosS jump in?
BastosS. No, he gets the kill, but Drift somehow or other finds his way into that point and will secure it for Alpha Esports. That is a wild start to this game and that hill.
That has got to be the diciest and wildest first opening hill we've seen indeed on Recharge in a very long time, and maybe if ever this season. That was back and forth down to the wire, reminiscent for any of you who will remember of the 2005 Midi Ball Team 3D versus Freaks ending, where you just have people piling on to the last second. And that's exactly what we saw there as well. That is unbelievable in the end that Alpha somehow sneaks that out. That's going to be fun to rewatch back on the VODs without a doubt. Unbelievable domino effect there as 4 will fall for a 7 baseline. First hill goes to Alpha Esports, and it was a fun one. See if they can keep it up.
Drift's got that shock rifle as well, so now he can lock down all of the angles in and around Turbine. As his teammates sit inside of that hill and just soak up a little bit of time. Sunnriz is going to learn where that shock rifle is. It looks like he's back for a second lesson. Good push coming in here. Millsy will find one. Mose finds another as well, as we have a 2v2 split on the map. Noble gets taken down. Big win in the back of the hill there coming in from Mose as well, because Acid now finds himself not just as the last alive, but also as the target for Sunnriz to try and find him he does. So that was 4 dead for the side of Alpha Esports, and Ascend baseline. Answer back once more. It's a very similar pattern to what we saw for this first hill.
Really is. See if they can hold this time. They know, and their fans know that they need to. If they're going to stay alive in this series, Shroud does go down. That really should secure it. Nobody else flying in. Looks like instead they're going to play for the camo. If I had to guess, we'll see. Camo popped really quickly, though. It's BastosS who popped. Not sure if he actually got it. Let's see if it was burned. Noble's movement suggests that he was just scouring the floor, seeing if he could find it. Looks like based on that, it is going to be burned in the end. That hill will be scored. We're tied 1-1.
Full rotate and control of the map, though, has gone over to Alpha Esports, so they play for this next setup. They give that point away in the last few moments. They fight for the camo. They get the burn, and now you can see with full control of not only gold, but also top alley. It's so difficult to cross for Ascend baseline to challenge this hill. Ping's coming in. Leuor's going to get that first pick as well, which makes the push even more difficult. And Noble applies some extra lotion to the body.
Got to keep those Spartans well lubricated, well moisturized.
Canadian.
2-1 in favor of Alpha Esports now off of that control. And not just insult to injury with the body shots, but also insult to injury on the scoreboard as they will take the lead. Still a lot of game to play with, though. Of course, 3:31 left on the game clock, which will pause each time we see that hill control. Noble in the end wins that shot against BastosS. Mose should clean it up. He does.
2 down on the side of Alpha. It's time for Ascend baseline now to try and push out this long haul, or they're just going to try and soak up a little bit of time. It looks like Mose does want to progress forward. There's some good damage coming in. Finds one. Does know there's another player in front of him, but instead chooses to use that Shroud screen just to allow him to get those shields back. Now he's going to re-challenge. Not the cleanest of shots so far coming in from Mose. Looks a little bit whiffy. And that's going to cost him his life.
We'll blame the Shroud there. This just kind of, just kind of complicates things a bit.
Sounds like something you've said before.
That's where you say, traded. 3 dead moments early for Alpha Esports there. Now 1 alive. Actually, Mose is your last player alive. He's going to try to make a C push here and see how much damage he could do. And honestly, the opening frags are very impressive. Mose, as the only player alive, does a really nice job to buy his team some advantage on the map.
Just for a second, though, you can see they had that advantage, but 2 kills follow up very quickly, and they go to the side of Alpha Esports. And because of that, now Noble finds himself with the camo down bottom middle. This has been a pretty contested hill so far. It looks like Noble wants to try and play not only for the kills, but maybe for the shock rifle as well.
Enemy team.
Sunnriz going to challenge. Sunnriz going to get 1 kill himself just before he performs the challenge in front of him. And Noble now has some work to do because he's got a couple of teammates who just fell around him. Couple of shots onto Mose. Now he's going to be challenged himself, but I'm not sure they know he's here. Even with the camo disappearing, he's created enough of a distraction for elsewhere his teammates to pick up some kills, and now it's just BastosS trying to survive.
Yeah, they're going to flood that and pick up that kill easily without trading. Very nicely done from Alpha. That a lesser team would maybe have allowed a trade to come in there in the long haul. They make sure that doesn't happen. Big hill here, goes without saying, essentially tied up on the 4th hill. We either exit this one tied 2-2, or we'll see Alpha. Oh my God! And speaking of, Noble almost does it. BastosS last player alive back Hydra. They're going to want to clean him out rather than leave him there.
Such a big kill as well. That stops the flood. It stops the pressure coming in, and Alpha Esports can essentially now play for a team fight before stepping into that hill. While taking some damage from bottom middle, it's Millsy who walks his way through. Trade will come in, but it's trades all over the place, but they favor Ascend baseline. Drift is last alive.
See what he could do. BastosS cleans that one up now. 4 dead for Alpha Esports. Leuor's going to be the first spawner. Now, this push needs to be perfect, otherwise this will be an Ascend baseline hill.
Challenge comes in for Leuor. As he's going to get that first kill, though, and that makes this a little bit dicey. 2 players going to try and push it out the tower together. Millsy will find a double kill, though, and that should allow them to step back inside of the point here, defend this hill. But shots coming in for the barriers. Oh, BastosS now, he's snapping on, and all of a sudden, we're snapping into a little bit of a game here. It's tied up at 2-2 with 2 minutes left on the game.
Yeah, really nice snap, as you say. Drift kind of throws a lot there into batteries to try to make something happen, and might get them on a bad spawn rotation. Camo's going to be burned for the 2nd time in a row by BastosS, so that will not be a factor off of this exchange. 2 minutes left on the clock, tied up 2-2.
Mose is going to challenge a player in hill. Just to flush him out.
Enemy team took the hill.
And now the battle for both of the platforms starts to take place. Noble's going to find one. Mose, they're not the cleanest looking shots, but good enough to get the job done with a little bit of help. Goes for the stick here, looks for the 2nd sticky as well, but it comes out of it with nothing. And it will be Alpha Esports who once again just stand in that hill and start to control. There's a Shroud to make that push onto the hill player a little bit more difficult. This is going to be more time soaked up by them.
It's got to be said, what a different game than our game number 2. Ascend baseline keeping this one very close. Right now, Alpha Esports leading by just a beat on the 5th hill. They close this out. That really could be all she wrote, but still some work to be done.
Drift manages to get out of that situation. One of those horrible situations where you look around the corner, like the player's one shot, but as you kind of go to finish him off, the shields come back, and then you're thinking, oh, maybe this is a bit of an overextension. So to come out of that with a trade is a good enough result. Alpha Esports now just an inch away from being able to call themselves the leaders of this game. Themselves up 3-2. The battle rifle again doing so much damage. Waiting for the push to come in as well. It's going to be 2 dead for Ascend baseline, and maybe that is the trigger now to go in. He finds another one. Last player alive is going to be BastosS down on the stacks, and that should be the hill being captured here by Alpha Esports. They'll be up 3-2.
I think a lot of people just did what I did during that exchange. I'm thinking, how much damage does Acid have in this game? And while we won't have that stat for a little while, right now you could tell he's 23 and 14 in this game with 10 assists as well, tied for the most assists in the game. What a game he's having. Not surprised they're leading 3-2. Only 60 seconds left on the clock.
And now do you play time? Do you play for the kills, or do you try and close it out now if you're Alpha Esports? Well, they're going to have to wait to make that decision, because the Ascend baseline have just put them all into the death screen, and Mose has found himself the camo as well. They've got a good bit of indication where those spawns are coming in as well. They've got full information. Everybody is in and around the elevator for them. Camo comes back at just the right time for Mose, but the grenade arrives at just the wrong time. Noble last alive. Millsy going to take him out, and it will be more control here for Ascend baseline. They are over halfway forward to capping this and tying up.
Even though Mose gets taken down with the camo, it was a very expensive kill for them. As you saw, it caused Alpha Esports to fall 4 dead again. Take a look at the hill progress. Really important power of control there. Leads to an over-focus on that camo, and just now moments away from seeing the hill get ticked. Yes, indeed, we are tied 3-3 here with 58 seconds left on the clock. We'll see if it can happen in regulation.
A perfect hill comes in from Ascend baseline. And if they can win this one, then the memories of that previous game, or should I say the nightmares of the previous game, won't matter too much, because we'll have some more Halo to play as Mose finds himself a double kill in and around the tower. He's starting to say, it's my game. 24-19.
Big swings coming in here from Ascend baseline. They now only trail by 4 kills in total, and you got to give it to Sunnriz. A killing spree during that 3rd hill. Great shots once again from Mose. He's not done yet, but a killing spree from Sunnriz during that 3rd hill. It goes without saying, it's a big, big factor in them now tying up the game.
Noble trying to push through the back of this hill, finally gets the Ascend baseline players out of it. They're almost halfway towards capturing it themselves, but now they're going to have to work off the respawn to flush Noble out.
Oh boy.
But Noble's going to find a little look at a cranny to find a frag grenade towards some of those respawners, but as you say, Millsy, he's found himself a shark, and this boy can hit shots.
Important kill from Millsy there. To just push them back a little bit, buy a little bit of space, take out the guy on the hill, and allow your team to start to make this tower and see plat push. Here comes the push.
Flank is coming in though. Mills is going to have multiple targets. Chain damage is good, but it's not good enough to get them out of the game and into that death screen. It's going to be 3 dead here for Ascend baseline, and inside of that hill, Noble finds the triple kill, turns his attention towards the camo immediately. And this is going to be the break that Alpha Esports were looking for.
Sunnriz gets camo. At the perfect timing. Took a look at that. Sunnriz able to get away with the camo. Just the unlucky timing there for Alpha Esports. The pre-nades into control. Looked good. Big moment here for Sunnriz. What can he do?
Needs to find some kills. Needs to play this perfectly. If they don't get these kills and they don't line up and he gets taken out, that could be the game going over to Alpha Esports. It's a Zen baseline who have 3 in the death screen. Last one alive is BastosS. He gets taken out as well. And with that, Alpha Esports will complete the sweep here on the main stage and secure second place in pools as well. What a run it's been from them. I mean, amazing stuff, 3-0.
Yeah, amazing stuff indeed. Game 1 and Game 3, they look so similar, just down to the wire, only 1 point separating the two in both Empyrean CTF as well as Recharge King. A fantastically tightly fought, match in the objective games in both of them. In the end, the slays do go the way of Alpha Esports, 89-79, so it's a comfortable slaying victory in terms of the Slayer performance there. 4-3 is your final score. Fantastic matchup between the two. I think, as we said, the Slayer was the outlier, but a really great series. However, Alpha Esports is the one we're focusing on. They secure second in the pool.
Yeah, amazing, right? They came here on Friday, fought their way through the open bracket, got into pools, and now find themselves second place in the pools, ahead of Sentinels, ahead of a Sen baseline, who they've just... Both of them have been pushed to the side by them in those series that we saw. Incredible performance on them, from them. Looking forward to seeing what they can do as we head towards the bracket stages. But for now, that's going to do it from Andy and myself, and we'll see you in just a few.